Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Wow.
Here we
are.
Laurie Kilmartin.
Jackie Cation.
Thank God Kyle is here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in. It's
Well, okay. So we were going to do 2 tonight, but
We
you're
can't.
exhausted.
I am wearing the one ring. I'm going to fucking dork out hardcore on you because I am stretched so fucking thin.
You're never tired. How did this happen?
I literally feel like I'm going to throw up. It's not okay. It's not okay.
Why did Kyle laugh? That's the hardest he's ever laughed at anything either of us has said.
Right. If I threw it up right now, would that be the funniest? No, because it would be so gross. But here's what happened. So we recorded on that Tuesday of the election day.
Yes.
And I had just come back from 1 million shows.
Right.
And then I left the next day and went to Denver and did 7 shows.
Tell me about Denver. First tell me about Denver.
Denver was fucking amazing.
Hi,
Fucking amazing. First of all, worth every year of waiting for it, quite honestly, because it needed to be waited
Really?
for. The staff was amazing.
Yeah.
The audiences, they take their phones and they stick them in a little pouch.
Oh, they do that thing that
Yes.
Chappelle, Yonder, is it called Yonder?
Yeah. And Chappelle was the one who said, "Will you please do this?" Or maybe he didn't.
He
say
pioneered
please.
it.
Well,
Louis does
so
it too.
Comedy Works is it was so funny. The woman who drove me to radio the next morning was like, I didn't know why we had to be the guinea pigs, but it actually is working very well. And it was. And she said the greatest thing about it, and this is true. So what you do is you get in line, you put your phone on vibrate. You get to keep your phone. It just goes in a little pouch that they lock. And then you sit in the showroom and it's on vibrate. So if it goes off, you can get up, get it unlocked, and go look at it. But you're not in the showroom doing it. And because of that, she said they talk to each other.
Oh, before the show?
Yeah.
The audience?
Yeah. The audience
There's like
is
a hum.
engaged.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
nice hum.
Yes.
Yes.
That's great. And
is.
how did your shows go?
They all went great. I did a nice mix of going to the vault. I essentially did the best of and
Yes.
my favorites.
There's no
And
shame in that.
There was no shame in it. Everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so it all worked out. And I was psyched. 7 shows. They gave me a sweatshirt.
Wow.
The condo, by the way, should not be called a condo. It should be called an apartment I'm willing to live in. It was
but
sparkling
your
clean.
standards are pretty low.
My standards are so high.
I would still call
walked
it a
in,
condo.
I walked in. It was you would not have appreciated the decorations because it was decorated by an 11-year-old with $1 million. It was essentially like there was so many toys and there were suits of armor. There were 3 suits of armor.
Okay, this is a condo for men.
It is
This
a condo
not-
for men and me, except for that.
That's right.
And then Andy said, "Did the suits of armor come to life and kill you in your sleep?" And I said, "There was one in the bedroom." And
You guys have weird love talk, by the way. I don't want to
And then-
hear any of it ever again.
Right.
It
Well, he
creeps
said,
me out.
"Well, that one in the bedroom was your protector," because I locked the door. And but the crazy thing is they also have this thing where there's a tiny canvas and acrylics, and you have to paint a painting. And one of the managers said, "We mock the people who don't make a painting." And so I had to make a painting. I made
That
a
would be
painting.
fun.
It was actually really therapeutic
Yes.
and really fun. But then they put them all on the wall. Mm-hmm. Emily Heller's the best one.
Oh, nice.
She did a self-portrait that looks exactly like her. Somebody, it was Felipe. You know Felipe?
Esparza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a copy of a Van Gogh that
Oh my
looked like
God.
I recognized it. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but what that wall is, by the way, it's essentially 40. You look at the names and you're like, oh, everyone's masturbated. This is a list of essentially who's masturbated in this condo, is what this is.
Especially Emily Heller.
Especially, she is probably going to town.
That's great. And so you got back on Monday?
I got back on Monday because
And
it was a
this
Sunday
is-
night show.
This is Wednesday night right now.
And this is Wednesday that we're doing it. And I just came from a benefit. that was at the Ice House. That was super fun. It was, Jennifer McLean, who was my roommate when I first moved here. She let me live in her studio. And my privacy was the corner of a studio that would be like the dining
You guys
nook.
were sharing a studio
Yes.
apartment?
Yes.
Wow.
And so my bed, my mattress was on the floor. 3 years.
Wow.
Right. And then we moved to a.
See, that's why you don't think a condo is a condo.
Exactly.
You shared a studio.
Right, for a long time until
Yeah.
she gave me an OXO set of like flippers
know what
and
that
tongs.
means.
The kitchen
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It was it was probably a $30 OXO set when she didn't have any more money than any of us. And she was like, "You got to move out here." And she's like, "We're both in our 30s. Get out." And I was like, "Fair enough. You have done all that you can do for me." And
So
then
it's her benefit.
It was a benefit for her kids' school. You know how like people
I've
have-
done so many kids'
That's it.
schools this week.
You're a parent.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would never do my own son's school.
She hosted it, and Aaron Lee did a set, and then
Okay.
one of the Farley brothers, John,
Oh, interesting.
his kid goes there.
Okay.
and then there were sketches, and all benefits go long. All benefits go long.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am so sorry, because we were gonna do 2, and I can't face it. I can't, because tomorrow I'm doing Geek and Sundry, and then I'm doing Maria's Netflix thing.
Wow. Yeah.
And then-
you got to be rested for that.
Yeah, and then
You know,
Friday,
Come on.
she wanted me to. I'm canceling Friday with her. I'm like,
Friday with
with Maria, something from noon till 8 that she
her
wanted me
on her show. On
Yeah,
her
she's
Netflix show?
she's shooting a bunch of Netflix shows stuff.
So
and
you're
I'm
just
like,
turning down TV work.
yes, I am. Because unless
Okay.
I want to up close and personal what it's like to be in in the mental hospital where they give you a puzzle but 8 pieces are missing. That's Maria's joke. Anyway, so
But wait, what are you saying? You
too-
were offered the part of a mental patient and
no,
you turned it
it's
down.
I will go mental if I
I
have to
see.
work on Friday.
Okay.
It's I'm going to lie down on Friday.
Yeah, of
forever.
course.
And it's going to be great. So, what did you do sets this week?
Yeah, I did. I did a couple.
You were
schools.
in New York. No,
No.
You're going to New York. That's right.
I'm going to New York again.
You did schools.
I did a benefit in Silver Lake, and it was fun. It was fine. It
Okay.
was, and
What was the benefit for?
some school. I don't
Okay.
know.
A school benefit.
I just show up and tell jokes.
Right.
Like,
Did you?
I don't care what. I should check into what I'm doing benefits for to make sure it's like not some sort of white nationalist
appropriate.
organization. Yeah, but it's.
Did you do a set last night, or did you address the white despair last night?
Last
Like
night?
Crab apples.
Yeah, I did both.
Oh, did you? Okay.
You know, that's so interesting. It's we were talking about this today at work too. Like, I think at work we're already like, okay, he's the president and he said this, and so I'm going to make a joke based on.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this is how we treat everything. Is we try to chop it up into little bits and make jokes about it.
Right.
I'm just talking about the monologue. And it's like gulp, but.
Yeah.
Life, monologues go on, life goes on,
Life
jokes
goes on.
But so there has been a way for me to sort of like, just sort of move on, I guess.
Yeah.
But being at Crab Apples last night at the show at the Improv, there were a lot of people who don't have any sort of structure to move on.
Oh,
with,
right.
And there was just like
You're
some
a better person than I am.
some
Yes. Okay.
wide open and uncontained despair from
Right.
people that still can't believe it.
Right.
And I guess I mean, I believe it now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading think pieces to analyzing what's, I'm
You're in that
I'm
rabbit
like,
hole.
oh, it happened. And
I took Twitter and Facebook off my phone.
I took Twitter off my phone.
Good.
Did you do it? I was listening to Marin's podcast, and he said he took it off his phone. And I'm
No,
like, you know what?
I
Fuck
did it.
Bye.
I did it on the way to Boston.
Oh,
On the
good.
way to
Oh,
Denver.
cool.
And I can still get there, right? Because it goes through Safari.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's
I know
a pain in the ass.
it is a pain in the ass,
But
which is good.
It's less. It's every second I can
I want
only
parts
one
of my
person,
life back. Yes.
Yeah, and one person in Denver asked me, and it was a Sunday night show. They asked me why I didn't have anything to say about it, and I said, if I can go 4 years without saying his name, I win on stage. I give him no stage time, and
it's right now we're gonna have to, if you're gonna talk about it, you're gonna have to like take 5 minutes because you can't just dip in and dip out. It's a huge pain that people have right now.
Right. It's an open sore.
Yes.
So to actually poke at it, which is why I chose not to talk about it at all
Right.
in Denver.
Right. And
I think that was appreciated to some
Sure.
extent because
No.
people were checking out for a second, just taking an hour and a half.
They wanted to get out away.
Yeah. All the openers were amazing, by the way.
Oh,
They were
yeah?
all great. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
that's
great
cool.
comedy scene. So
Yeah, that's great. Did Heather Snow, was she around?
no, I didn't get to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting last night to see how much, real
Despondency and
real pain and despair there still is. Just as mostly around among white people. There was mostly a white group
Yes.
last night.
Yes, and
You know?
it was and much like I have said with stand-up comedy and careers, you have to complain laterally. You cannot complain. You cannot complain about this not laterally,
do you
because
mean?
if you are a straight white man, I mean, the thing is if you want to get solace, if you need, because we're all holding each other up, right? With this thing, because it feels what it feels like, right?
Right.
But if you're complaining to a Muslim woman who happens to be gay, who's first in line for the camps,
Yeah, sure.
and you want sympathy from her, fuck you, is what I say.
Yeah.
Is you have to you can commiserate.
Yeah.
You and I are straight white women. We can commiserate with each other and go, yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah.
And it's the greatest, my greatest disappointment, this made me laugh because I realized how ridiculous it was, is that Hillary fell for the thing that all women fell for, but I didn't think she was because she's 70. And which is you thought that just being extra good at the job would get you the gig.
God, I know.
And she fell for that. And I was like, oh shit, that happens at all levels. I'm screwed.
You know, it's
All right.
it's weird. Like I read, there's so many different. Everyone's got a think piece on the problem. What happened? But when Jessica Valenti, I think I always mix her up with Rebecca Traister. They're both really great writers.
Okay.
But I think it was Valenti wrote this thing about how, just looking back at all the women that had run for president,
in the past.
recently, like Pat
Geraldine.
Schroeder. Remember Pat Schroeder?
Oh, vaguely.
She was either she's a rep or senator from Colorado.
Okay.
And she just couldn't get money. I mean, the first thing you need is gobs of money.
Right.
And a lot of these women that started and got halfway there or got just partially. I'm not
Right.
even saying, obviously not to the nomination, but just where they had any traction, they couldn't continue because they didn't have money.
Right.
So the fact that Hillary's like, okay,
I have a giant bag of money.
guess what? I'm going to spend 2 years just clawing money from people
Yeah.
left and right. I'm going to have $500 million, and I'll have that.
Is it
solved.
$500 million?
It was. I remember that it was when she was in the primary against Obama. So
Yeah.
it's got to be at least that.
Wow, that's huge.
It's huge. I mean, just a war chest, including the DNC, including
Yeah.
I don't know what's even included in that kind of a war chest.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Making speeches, just all the stuff that she was criticized for.
Right.
She
got closer to
felt like,
anybody.
look, I need to have more money than a guy. I need to have more endorsements than a guy. I need to have more celebrities. Like, you need to have everything more than the guy.
I got to have more of a plan. I got to be more qualified. I have all of these things, more. And then that was me going, I literally wrote a blog on my Tumblr called White Disappointment. And
Yeah.
because you get me on a plane, I tried to check out, right? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna get involved. I get on a plane. I'm 100 monkeys with typewriters. I just start throwing shit at the,
What do you mean? What?
I end up typing.
Yeah.
I end up getting.
Oh, okay.
On the plane.
Yes.
I can if I'm not on a plane, if I'm not trapped in a seat.
Yeah.
I can go find something else to do.
Right.
But if I'm trapped in a seat and there's internet,
Yeah.
I start waxing poetic.
Sure.
Whatever.
So you wrote a mournful blog post.
Which made fun of myself.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I spent most of Denver I texted both of you that
Yeah.
thing I did at the bus stop.
Yes.
Fucking bus stop lady I even told the Uber guy because I was trying to cheer any fucking buddy up. You right? I'm like, so
I can one up you, by the way.
Can you?
No, finish your story.
well, you heard it last night. 'Cause
Yeah.
I tried to tell it on stage and then
Yeah.
I ended it poorly. Anyway, but it was the first time I told it on stage. But it was essentially, I'm walking from the condo to the club. It's 3 blocks.
Yeah.
I walk by a bus stop. There's a bunch of people there. A woman comes up with a roller bag, and she's crying and kind of talking to herself and says, I missed my bus. I'm fucked. I'm going to miss this appointment. And I'm like, I'm done walking by upset people. I'm going to turn around and try to talk to her and I go up to her and I literally kneel down. She's sitting on the bench and I go, lady, can I call you an Uber or something? And she comes out of her stupor and she's like, what? No, I'm all right. I said,
very nice.
And I said, lady, this is the worst week of my life. Can I please help you? And she laughed and she goes, if it will help you to help me, yes. And then, so I gave her like $20 for a cab.
Yeah.
And then she actually said to me,
Spent it on booze and cigarettes.
do you need a hug? And I said, yes, I do need a hug. And then the stranger hugged me. And then, but here's the good news. Nobody else at that bus stop, everybody else was kind of half laughing and half sympathetic, right?
Yeah.
Nobody else said, well, you want to get me an Uber? Which would have been really funny.
Do you ever leave flappers and give somebody a ride home at the bus station when you're walking to the garage? I've done that
'cause
a couple times.
I always, that's awesome.
It's like a woman with a child or something.
Yeah. Late at night.
Yeah,
where you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
What are you doing out at 11 with your kid?
Yeah. Well, I know
Clearly
what they're out
groceries.
to. She's working.
Yeah, she's working.
And now she has
had
to take a 2-hour bus ride to her fucking home. Yeah.
Right.
I don't do it that much. But when it's like, it's, striking.
Right, and you can figure it out.
Yeah, and
You're
I
like,
can
I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the day on Wednesday, first of all, I started doing monthly donations to like 5 new. Southern Poverty Law. I just did. I added UNICEF today. A couple
ACLU?
others. ACLU.
Amnesty International. We're going to need them. We're going to need them.
Amnesty. The National Resource Defense Council for
Yeah.
Climate. I just was like, what are all the issues? Bing, 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 bing.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So, and then this reminded me of I've done Save the Children for a long time.
Okay.
Where I have like the kid it's only $30 a month. It's not
Okay.
like
Yeah.
that much, and he lives in Kentucky.
Okay.
and he's white because I've
Okay.
seen his picture, and he once a year he writes a letter or something like that.
Nice.
And he's the same age as my son, and his handwriting is like, it's really bad. I'm like, oh, this. Like, he's not getting a good education.
Right.
It's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because I can
It-
compare it
not
to
even
my
kind
son.
of. Yeah.
And go, fuck.
Yeah.
It starts so early.
Yeah.
But in 2004, I was also doing Save the Children. And it was also a child in Appalachia.
Right.
And I guess I always pick them because I feel like they're the ones that get ignored.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not as glamorous. The poverty
there's-
isn't as publicized.
Yes.
And so after Carrie lost in 2004, I was so fucking pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But I called up Save the Children and I said, I would like you to switch my donation to an international child. And I said, and you tell the parents of that child that a liberal Manhattan lady, I was like fucking, and the people are like,
snapped.
okay.
Okay, lady.
Yeah.
Just okay.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
really. But anyway, so this time I didn't blame this poor child.
Right, the child.
When I hear about the parents, I'm like, oh, I fucking know they're Trump supporters. Like the dad's a truck driver, and the mom, I'm like, oh, this is Trump all the way.
Yeah.
I wish they knew that a little portion of whatever they're getting is from a very liberal
Right.
lady,
Exactly.
a single
super
mother.
elitist.
Yes.
You're just like,
Yeah.
yeah. Guess what? I can spell all the big words.
Anyway,
Watch that.
but so my roommate, in New York,
Yeah.
is African American.
Okay.
And I I emailed her and I reduced her rent by 20%. And she goes, why?
And you're like, I have to do something.
I go, listen, white privilege. I just gave some white privilege
Hilarious.
explanation. She's like, yay.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it, lady. It's
Yes.
you know who's it was okay. So I'm going to Denver and I'm in line for TSA, and behind me is a giant, very handsome African American gentleman who is professional athlete fit, not actor fit.
right.
And TMZ has their camera in his face.
Wow.
And I don't know who he is. This is
Right.
Wednesday morning. And by the way, I changed my flight. You know, last episode I said my
Yes.
flight was at 6 a.m. When I
Yeah.
left, I called Delta. And because I'm Diamond, I changed it to fucking 1. And it
No
didn't
one
cost
wants
me
to
a
hear it
penny.
anymore, Jackie.
Nobody wants to hear it. That's it. Let me talk about Sky Club.
Why did
No.
you have a 6 a.m. flight when you were only there to do radio the next morning?
Thursday morning because I'm an idiot because
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a maroon.
I thought you
I'm an ultra. I had no. I was. You know how sometimes you just make these flights and you're like, well, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Shut
gotta,
it.
you gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta visualize yourself waking up and pay attention to the
Right.
sign.
Vision board your flightcation. Who cares? I don't. Start snap.
So what happened with this dude?
So he's behind me, and TMZ is like, "What do you think of the election?" And he just goes, "Puh," and then they go, "Well, did you think Trump would win?" And he says something, and
It wasn't LeBron, was it?
I don't know who it was. My thing
Okay.
about famous people is I don't know who they're from.
Was he super tall?
He wasn't a basketball sport guy, and that's a basketball guy.
He's
right?
not basketball tall. Yes,
Yeah,
LeBron James
he's
is
no, he
basketball.
looked football guy.
Okay.
He looked like football guy, and so, so they said, "What do you? Did you know Trump would win?" And he goes, "Yeah, I was not surprised. I mean, I'm not happy, but I'm not surprised. What does surprise me is how many people are surprised." And it was the first sort of person of color that I was like, that, and then the domino effect of all acquaintances and friends of mine who are not white.
Yeah,
Going,
right.
calm the fuck down. We just have to fight this. We have to fight this like we fight everything. And you're like,
Right.
Oh, right. You've had to fight this your entire goddamn lives.
Yeah, Janelle James was on This American Life.
Oh, was she?
She wasn't identified as Janelle James, just as Janelle, a comedian. But she's saying that she had her mother was like, she was like devastated, and her mother was nonplussed. Kind of like, yeah,
Right. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, shit happens. Let's try to fight it. However, and I said something. I got last night at Crab Apples. I said something, and somebody applauded, and I thought it was one of those. You know those things when people applaud, like you feel like a comic has said something that will inspire that's. I felt like I had said something that was making them applaud, and I didn't want credit for it.
Okay.
You know that thing?
Yeah.
With audiences. And then I realized afterwards that it was Crab Apples. So it's Bobcat and Caitlin. Mm-hmm. And the entire audience is mostly comics and industry
nerds,
people
yeah.
and comedy nerds.
Yeah.
So that applause was an appreciation of a good line.
Yeah.
So not an appreciation of the sentiment. And I want to fix that line because I wouldn't mind using it again, but I don't know where I'll use it. It was that line about how I want to get in the way of shitty behavior.
Oh yeah, I like that. I
it's-
like that.
Yeah, because that's my purpose now is to get in the way
Yeah.
of shitty behavior. And I was talking to my sister today, and because I said also that I was like that I was raised to get in the way of all sorts of things, and because I was raised by. That's the other. I've been thinking about the sort of the impact on comedy on this.
Yeah.
and it's hard. It's like 9/11 but different.
Well, I mean, I remember after 2000 again, 2000 felt like this thing we sort of let happen, and the Bush, engineered Florida, and some shady shit went on in Florida with Catherine Harris and all that stuff. Where
The Chads and all that business,
and votes not being counted and stuff like that, and probably Gore won electorally too, probably.
Popular vote wise,
He won popular, but he probably, if they hadn't fucked around with Florida, you know what I mean?
right, he might have
But
won.
well, I don't.
Yeah.
We sort of let it go as a nation. There wasn't like riots in the street.
Yeah.
And 9 months later, September 11th happens because this person's unprepared, and Gore was ready to jump in, just ride right on what he was there the whole time, whatever. So and I have that feeling now of like, well, we're just watching this orderly transfer of power, as the Constitution says. This proves we're a great country because we let even a totally unprepared narcissist take over and run it, and we're sort of just going, okay, well, Obama said it was cool, and Joe Biden just said, hey, they'll be okay on day one, and
That was, by the way, a
Oprah
great
said it was
joke.
okay.
Right. Day 2 is a clusterfuck was your punchline.
yeah.
And that was great. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's back. That's what I did when I read that joke. I was like, there you go, first joke of the new regime.
But you know, I have that feeling of like, you know, something horrible is going to happen on Trump's watch because he's
He's ill prepared.
totally ill prepared. At least Bush had some structure from his father. There was
Yeah.
presidency in his background, and Rove knew he was an evil fuck, and Cheney, but they at least
They're
knew what a
puppeteers.
government looked like.
yeah.
These people don't even know what a government does.
No, they just are full of hate and they're weird. So we don't
and
know
they're
what the fuck
fighting
is
each
going to
other,
happen.
and it's really alarming. I think that thing.
Right. Well, I have. In 2000, I stopped watching televised news, and I would only read the news, and I've kept that up, and it's really helped me. And this one, someone was like, "Well, what are you gonna do about you've been following this, the nominations, and all this stuff?" And I said, "No, I didn't even watch The Apprentice. I'm not gonna fucking watch whatever. I mean, I will get the news.
Yeah.
The news will come to me." And I will get it, and I will affect change in front of. I mean, what I've been looking into is there's a runaway place in my neighborhood for teens, and there's a food bank, and I genuinely want to get off my ass and volunteer with humans.
Yeah, right.
I want to look someone in the goddamn face and say, "What do you need?
Yeah.
And how can I be of some sort of solution?" Right. So who knows? Who knows what I will? I mean, and I don't want to. Are you kidding me? I'm the laziest. I'm just like I don't want to.
You are lazy. That's what everyone says about you.
Oh, sure, comedy. But here's what I'm genuinely, and I've said this I did play Joke Machine with Foley the other day, Aaron Foley, and I was like, I'm worried.
Every time you say play joke machine, I'm like, it's not playing.
It's work. It is
Yes.
work. Okay, so we were doing jokes. We were doing
Okay.
jokes at each other, doing Joke Machine, and I have a problem with my dad chunk. I've always had a problem with that chunk. It's a 12-minute chunk that I'm supposed to record in a month for my new album, and I'm working on a new title too. So I don't know, but every time I've tried those jokes in the last 4 days, all I hear is Trump. That my father is Trump, and I can't face it. I can't face the comparison, and so Maria, hilariously, I was mentioning to her, and she goes, "Think of the challenge of making him likable." And I was like, I don't want to make Trump likable, and I don't like any comparisons between my dad and Trump. It took me 12 years to love my father for the mistakes he made. Like 12 years ago, I wrote a solo show, and a lot of that sales stuff came out of it. And it turned into stand-up, and it was tight enough, and it's punchy. But it took so much. It took blood and sweat and tears to find the love of my father for that. I've had a hard time talking to him in the last week. I did talk to him, and I didn't talk about the election.
Let me just ask you something. So when you talk to your parent, you can hang up and then they go away?
Touche.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. He is far away, and he does not live in my home, and he didn't vote for Trump.
I got home. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
My mom did.
Yeah.
And I got home from Tess Rafferty's party, and which was lovely. And
Sure.
despite this fact that everyone was like in shock, it was
Right.
just she's
Was it
she's
supportive
very
and
nice.
yeah?
Yeah, it was cool.
How long did you stay after? Another hour or so?
A little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah, my kid was hanging out and having fun, and
Oh, good.
but then I got home and my mom. I don't think she knew. She didn't pay attention. She wasn't.
She wasn't plugged
she's
in.
like. She's not plugged into anything.
Yeah.
And she's a widow and she lives in this little tiny room now. And you know what I mean? Like so much has been taken away from her.
Yeah.
And her spine has the letter C in it.
Oof.
It's horrifying.
Right.
So when I can get any distance from her and I can just see her, I'm like, my heart breaks.
Yeah.
But up close, I want to fucking strangle her.
Right. Because yes,
You
it's
know?
heartbreaking, and yet you're just like, you're killing me. You're
yeah,
button pushing the fuck out of me.
She,
so.
she's convinced Hillary had seizures, and like, if I believed the things about Hillary my mom has been told,
Yes.
then I would never vote for her either.
Right.
And you can't break into that wall of inaccuracy. It just surrounds her. So anyway, we didn't talk for a couple days, and then because I said, I listed all of his sexual the
problems.
sexual accusers,
Yes.
right? And I said, this guy's like my swim coach, and I go, if you vote for him, you're voting for Andy King, and you're voting against me.
Yeah.
And she still voted for him.
Oh, fuck.
Can you fucking believe? In a state where it didn't matter.
In the state where it didn't matter.
Fuck.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
You know?
Here's what I did, and you're not going to want to hear this.
What?
This is how I spent election night. I got home by 9 after we recorded that thing.
Right.
And I said to Andy, we are going to have sex. I said, we are going to make sweet, sweet love, and then we're going to bed. We're not turning any of it on, and we're going to wake up tomorrow, and whatever happens, happens. Because I refuse. And he goes, that is a great idea. And then I woke up every 2 hours and had to literally pray myself back to sleep,
Wow.
which I have found it's like affirmation-y.
Yeah.
My prayers are super affirmation-y. And it's, I was like, I release all fear. I release all anger. I release all grief. I turn it all over to God and the universe. And I am going to let the universe worry about this. I'm going to do the work. And over and over, hundreds of fucking times I said that.
Wow.
And I woke up at 2. I woke up at 4. At 6:30 I wake up. And I said, Andy, should I go check? And he goes, it'll still be there at 8 o'clock.
You know what's weird? Like, I love Sam B. I think
Yeah.
she's so funny.
She's
I
smart
love
as a-
the stuff she does. And I think, well, what happens now? Like, clearly, and John Oliver too, so fucking forensic detail on issues.
Right.
And funny. And all this it gets passed around. Donald Trump got after the election. I didn't watch this SNL after the election except for Chappelle's monologue, which was great.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, I don't know.
It was great.
I watched Kate McKinnon.
Oh, that was great too.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was
I saw
the
that
only-
too. But then there was a sketch with the guy that kind of looks like John Belushi. I forget his name.
Okay. Is it Jim Belushi?
No. but it was being passed around. I think Slate. SNL destroys Trump. It's like, no, you
No.
didn't.
No.
one destroyed him.
No one
He's
destroyed
the
him.
fucking president-elect. And
Yes.
as many times as these brilliant 5-minute comedy rants and masterpieces and monologues were passed around,
Yeah.
it fucking didn't work.
Right. And
And
I
what's
don't-
comedy supposed to, what is it? Like, is that sort of anger? So that, like, for 4 more years we're going to be passing around shit that murders this guy, and only
It
we're
doesn't.
going to be, it's just an echo chamber. Only
know.
we're going to be laughing at it.
Right. And I wonder, that makes me think, should we all go into journalism? I mean, that kind of research that is being done at Last Week.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why can't you give that to the LA Times? Why don't you give that? I mean, the jokes will write themselves, but you're
Yeah.
like, look at all this research.
Why are comedians doing more of this research than journalists?
I don't know, but
Why-
Dan
I
Rather
mean-
wants us all to support journalists anyway.
I know. You know, there's so many comics, their Twitter feeds are actually much more well informed than the typical anchor at MSNBC
I
or
know, so
CNN.
weird.
And the thing is, it's weird, like, people are like, oh, how could, people vote against their self-interest and stuff, their economic self-interest. But anyone in the entertainment industry who voted for Hillary voted against their economic self-interest because, Trump is great for comedy.
Right.
And he's great for cable news. I mean, I work on TBS, and TBS, a sister station, is CNN. CNN is fucking raking in money right now from this, and it won't stop.
Right.
And, last year, Les Moonves, the CEO of... is he the head of Viacom or just CBS? I forget. But he said Trump might be terrible for the country, but he's great for CBS. Like,
He's amazing to just add revenue through the yin
yeah.
Okay.
And I don't. There's so many
Right,
so
and
many
everybody
things going against each other that don't seem to.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We don't know what to do with this instantaneous information and all this instantaneous misinformation and then 24-hour news cycle. And the only thing I can do is I will genuinely just sort of, I have had to step back. And I don't know. But we're gonna be here. You know?
I mean, I'm not going to really talk about Trump on stage. It just it's not my interest.
No, and I don't
You know?
do my political comedy is so enormously socio-political. Oh my God! What about how great the Dorian Gray joke worked? Huh?
Oh, yes.
Huh? It worked.
Dude, I'm not thinking about LA audiences whenever
It's
I worry
true.
about a
That
joke
is-
not working.
yeah, you're right.
I'm thinking
yeah.
about Denver.
Right, you're thinking about Denver, or other places.
Or any place else you go.
Right.
You work the Midwest a lot. You know,
I do, and I'm going to Houston on Sunday.
God, good luck. Don't even say the word book in Texas. Am I right, guys?
Come on, but I'm opening for Maria.
Okay.
It's there's like 3 more sets. I'm
Yeah.
opening for Maria tomorrow in L.A., Houston on Sunday, and then San Francisco at the end of that week in San Francisco that I'm doing.
Where?
I don't know where she is. December 10th. She's at, but I bet you MariaBamford.com has it. Hey, let's do Comic of the Week.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Helen Hong.
Helen Hong.
Oh
Very
my
funny.
God, so funny. I saw her like 2 weeks ago at another one of those grade school benefits.
Yeah.
At the Comedy Store. Mm-hmm. And she was so freaking funny. She had this great bit about Christianity that was hilarious.
Oh, cool.
And she works like a dog.
She does.
you know?
She works very hard.
She's the hardworking.
I used to see her in New York a lot, and she's
Oh, great.
here. And yeah.
And just been working her head off ever since. So Helen Hong, probably at Helen Hong. I did not check.
I'm
What do you
gonna
think,
guess.
Kyle?
I'll look it up.
You'll
Yeah.
look it up. It'll be in the notes. Yep.
So my mom and I did start speaking later this
Oh, yeah?
week. We had a big cry fest. You know, like
Okay.
she's like, "Do you want me to move? I can't be hated."
Oh, right. You know what? That's a great line.
Yeah,
right.
And I did want her to move, and I did consider continuing to hate her, but
Right.
no. I mean, she's a
Little old lady.
she's lost 4 inches in height to this scoliosis, and
Right.
she's just she's
Yeah.
when I can, I'll step back and look, and it's just a lot of tragedy that
Yes.
has never been analyzed or therapized.
Right. She's had it's just piled on top of her. That's
Yep,
why
and
she's
she
4
just
inches
has
fucking
all
shorter.
these little coping mechanisms, and
Yeah. Well, I think that's
It's
great, actually,
awful.
just because, like, what did Eddie Pepitone, I think, was the one on Facebook who said it. He said, and this was just about friends.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, yes, please berate your friends for who they voted for, because that's really, just the splintering of friendships, the splintering of liberals on each other,
Mm-hmm.
the splintering of all this BS. And so I have had to let go of the fact that I'm like, I can't care who you voted for. I can't care even if you didn't vote. We're in this moment, so let's go forward. And I'm going to try to write some jokes. And
I'm going. I made this decision a while ago to skip Thanksgiving. We usually do
Yeah.
a big family reunion. It's a lot of Republicans.
Okay.
And I gave my son to his dad for Thanksgiving. I'm
Okay.
going to have him for Christmas. But so I could go to New York and just sort of write and work on this book some more.
right.
Without
You got to do
having-
that anyway.
Yeah. So I'm going to be like somebody very generously offered to have me over at Thanksgiving in New York with their family and their
Okay.
kids, and I said I don't want to be around if I can't be around my kid, I don't want to be around any kids,
Right.
and I'd rather be alone.
Yeah.
And I mean I like being alone anyway, and I like solitude anyway, and I'm doing spots at night, so
Yeah. So you'll see people.
I'll be okay.
Oh my gosh, Matt Bronger's Snapchat the night of the election was like literally, it was almost like watching someone turn into a vampire.
What happened?
It was every hour. It was just I watched it sort of the next morning, right?
Yeah.
Snapchat TV, and so and it's usually he's funny and he's Matt Bronger. He's great,
Yeah.
and so. It's, hey, you can see the TV on behind. He's like, hey, my girlfriend's in England. I'm not gonna I'm not going to be around, I'm just going to be sitting here. So I'm going to Snapchat an hour, like smash cut an hour later to another 10 seconds. And he's like, what the hell? And then all the screen says is, holy fuck. And then the next one, he's got a beer in his hand. He's sitting in the backyard. He's like, I just walked around the street and around the block, and now I'm in my backyard drinking a beer by myself. Smash cut to, I'm in a bar. I couldn't not be in a bar. And then the next one is Solomon Giorgio on stage. And Solomon Giorgio just yelling at the audience going, turn off your screens. Look at the person next to you. Stop watching it. And it was great.
It
was
cool.
really cool.
We got to. Did you see Wanda Sykes?
Oh, yeah. There was like.
Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't watch.
She had it. She's doing the Cam Neely Foundation, which
She's
is
doing a cancer benefit. Who hires Wanda Sykes and Nick DiPaolo to do stand up at a cancer video?
Dennis Leary.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's Dennis Leary's thing. Yeah. Of course. Why wouldn't he do that? But
Why wouldn't
so
he?
I think it's like the day after or
Yeah,
2 days after.
it's like
election.
Wednesday or
Okay.
Thursday.
So she had a funny joke that she where she said, we have had a white supremacist. We were talking about Bannon.
Okay.
This is the first time we've had a confirmed white supremacist. Like you
Right.
can argue up until like 76, we've only had white supremacists in the White House.
Right.
Like Nixon, until we got to Jimmy Carter.
Yes.
And then Ray, whatever. But so that it's just that's a good little joke.
Yeah, okay.
And it's probably
And they
it's
booed her.
2 days off after the election.
Yep.
And they started booing her, and she just started going, fuck you.
Right.
And I don't, I mean, that's never the best reaction.
Oh my God! When you snap at the audience
But-
and then storm off.
You know what? If you're she's not a snapper.
No.
She's really professional. So, but if you're gonna snap, it can be 2 days after the election when you're a black, gay, female mother.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
yeah, you're,
And
it's.
Quite honestly, if you,
And
I have
fuck
never
those fuckers for booing her for telling a fucking Trump joke.
A Trump
man.
joke, exactly.
A Bannon joke. It wasn't even a Trump. It's a Steve Bannon joke.
Right.
So
And-
they're also at a cancer benefit booing a comic who's
from-
working for free.
right, and coming. Oh, I doubt.
Well,
Yeah. So, and then, but yeah, when I think of the people that have stormed off stage,
yeah,
when the audience booed them or they couldn't they were just dumb.
yeah.
Like there was that thing with I think it was Greg Behrendt. I don't know. I wasn't there for it, but so I don't. Can I even tell this story if I don't have it verified?
Halfway in.
I'm halfway in, so he's down at 4th and B down in San Diego, and they used to have this terrible gig. It was a terrible gig that paid
so
like
this
a
is
nickel.
many years ago.
Yeah, it's probably 12 years ago.
Okay.
And what it was is it was an MC feature. That's at 40 minutes, right? And then a intermission to sell more beer. Mm-hmm. And it's a free 1,200 people are at this thing. And then the MC goes up, does another 5, and then brings the headliner up. And everybody's half in the bag, and they're done watching stand-up comedy now. And so you have to fight your way through this thing. And I guess Greg Behrendt was like, well, screw this. I'm getting $100 for this. I'm leaving. And then the following week, Doug Stanhope goes up there, and he made the mistake of saying, I guess after the intermission, did you want to see the feature again? And they were like, yes. He was amazing. That guy was amazing. And then Doug Stanhope says, well, you don't walk me. I fucking walk you. And then he did like an hour 10 or something where he
Yes.
walks more than 700 of that 1,200 people. And you're like, yay.
Awesome. You
Good
don't walk
for
me,
you.
I walk you.
It's the greatest line
Yes.
ever.
That's the attitude
that's-
to have on stage.
That's the sentiment.
You know what's weird? I was watching when I was in New York a couple weeks ago. I feel like I have, like I look at the like a younger generation of female comics,
Yep.
right? And I don't. They sort of just stand on stage, but they're not looming at the audience and looking. Like I feel like a part of me is always ready to have something thrown at me. So I have this very defensive sort of stance
way
and
you
posture.
take the stage.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I mean, my eyes are always moving all over the place, and I'm looking just to make sure there's no like I assume the worst.
Right.
Every time I go on stage, there's a gun in the audience. That's what I
Right.
think.
Wow,
And-
you're
and-
like Chekhov.
Yeah.
So it's
But then I just noticed like the, maybe in their 30s and under kind of don't have that aggressiveness when they're standing. It's
they own the stage.
it's a feeling of, yes, I'm safe here. Not
which
like,
I've never.
I've never had, and it's definitely an argument against spending your first 10 years in comedy in bars.
Right.
Is my point.
Right, and there's certainly it is kind of a safer vibe for the youth.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, and then after Wanda, I guess Nick DiPaolo was next, and he got he also snapped, and he just went bananas and said some really awful, charged.
Oh my God!
Racially charged.
He
Just
quoted.
like,
He
oh my
quoted the
God, what are you
one of the
doing?
jokes they quoted in the article was that it's easier to rape women in Boston because of cobblestones, and so Kyle even laughed against his will. We all laughed against our will when we heard that joke, and then we were like, "You are super sensitive, Nick DiPaolo. Good for you."
Yeah, and he called Hillary a cunt, and he called Obama a monkey,
said-
I was
did
just
he?
like, no, what are you doing? Why do people I love go? Whatever. People are
Right.
snapping. This election is making people
Even comics
crazy.
lose their shit. And
Yes.
comic who's been doing it 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
If they're snapping,
Yes,
something
and
is-
both Wanda and Nick have been doing it forever, and
For
they've known
1,000
each other
years.
forever. I met them both at the comedy competition in like 1995. We all did the San Francisco comedy competition together. So
wow. Was that when it
everyone's
was in
known
San
each other
Francisco?
for like what?
was it in San Francisco at that time?
Yes,
in
it was.
95?
Yeah.
There we go. Because
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
no longer.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Yeah.
But everyone's been
Yeah.
aware of each, and they've known each other forever. So for him to even get that mad at her, just
Right.
oh my God!
I wonder if he
People
got
are
mad
going
because now he
crazy.
had to do an extra 15 because they were probably just doing 20s, right?
I
I don't know why.
I don't know.
That's the important thing to me. How
I
long
don't
were they
know.
supposed to do, you guys? It's who had to pick up the slack? And I have no idea.
Anyway, it's been
Yeah.
a stunning election for everybody.
And I love.
And-
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, people are like, give Trump a chance. And I'm like, that's what not taking to the streets with guns is.
That's what the campaign is. That's your chance. And then like no, you're not gonna. He's not gonna change his personality.
No.
But I also, I sent out a tweet about this, Jackie. If I can quote my own tweet.
Please do. I think because the tweets go by so fast, I miss them.
So, we have these poor rural voters, the rural white voters that
Right.
we didn't understand in Appalachia, the poor white voters in Kentucky and Ohio and Indiana and Michigan
And Wisconsin.
and Wisconsin. Well, you know what? A lot of those people are descended from people who took a fucking coffin ship over here. And they left their home and they left everything and they came to America and they resettled
Yep.
and they went where the work was. They went where the food was. They
Yep.
went where the opportunity
Oh.
was. And now 20 generations later, you can't leave fucking Ohio.
Right.
There's no jobs there.
Right.
Stop trying to get a job in manufacturing. It ain't
you can
happening.
still be a Buckeye fan. I
Come
swear
to
to God.
LA and
It'll
take
be-
an improv class, okay? Because that's where the money is now.
Right. Grubhub is hiring you guys. And
But it's like they want this fantasy world of the deer hunter in 1970s or something. Like it's not happening anymore.
Right.
We're trying to get solar energy, which is panels.
Right.
It's not you shoveling fucking coal out of a coal mine. Stop wanting that shitty fucking job back.
Right. Well, in rural Wisconsin, everybody wants that job where they make plastic forks, and those plastic.
Why?
I don't know.
It's
why.
horrible.
It's a dumb job. I don't know why.
Do you know you can have a job you like or it stimulates
Right.
you intellectually?
Well, and maybe they want to live near a tree. I don't know. But I mean, the thing is if you had a real job, you could then go to northern Wisconsin and go camping and shoot deer or do whatever you want to do if you had a job that made money.
Why won't politicians go, look, this plant is not reopening?
I
It's
don't know.
probably going to be raised.
Right.
and you guys, either we decide we're going to have a universal basic income for some people, for everybody. Everyone gets $1,500 a month, maybe,
Or
right?
9.
or what? Yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever
it depends
the
on
livable,
where you live,
yeah,
right?
whatever livable,
Whatever's livable.
basic poverty livable wage. Yes.
Because we are, I mean, things are getting more and more automated. Uber's trying to figure out how to automate their cars. That there goes Uber driving for some people. Like, how are people supposed to make money? How are they supposed to feed themselves?
Right.
How it's not just these people in the Midwest. It's spreading.
Right.
The automation and stuff. So I don't. And now this is just turning into a bigger thing. I'm like,
Well,
fuck, we're really
Do
fucked now.
stand up, you guys. Open mics. And you know what they say, you guys? If there's no open mic in your small town, start one.
Oh, not move. I say move.
You say move to a town with
Jackie
a good
says
comedy.
stay there and start one.
Start a comedy show.
I
you
say
guys.
get out. Go to a mid-sized town.
It's find yourself a Portland, Seattle thing. So I have I've been doing this interstitially kind of intro-y I don't know what the fuck to call it for
Right.
Audible.
I saw your picture in
It was
an
essentially
Amazon email.
essentially Rooftop has been recording all of our acts for the last 12 years. We all signed away our acts
Where?
everywhere at tiny clubs all over
But they
America.
ask before they.
Yeah, if you signed the paper, they got your audio.
Yeah.
And then Rooftop got bought by Amazon.
Oh.
And so Audible has access to 100 million hours of stand-up comedy.
But they can't use it without your permission.
They
right?
can totally use it because you signed the paper.
No, if you signed it for Rooftop, they can.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not if you didn't sign it.
Okay.
Right. So,
Did you sign?
Oh my God, yes. I'm just hours and hours.
No.
Yeah, Maria did. Everybody did. There's just so what they're doing is they're taking different towns or different areas, right? And they said, "Would you host like Rob Delaney did?" And what you do is you host and you riff about.
Are they paying you again?
Yeah, they're paying me. But here's the thing: it's the only money that any of us have ever made on this gig. But they're like I haven't seen them, but it's called Sound of America, and essentially I introduce, hey, Los Angeles,
Right.
and then here's some comics talking about Los Angeles. Here's the Midwest. Here's some comics talking about, and so that's the whole thing. And so I'm recording another one of those next week too. I need to say
So frustrating.
it is frustrating because.
All you have are the jokes you wrote. Mm-hmm. That's
Yep.
all you have as a comic. If someone else can just take them and put
you
them out
signed
there,
him away. You signed him away because you were a young comic. You didn't know, and I wasn't that young. I was not that young.
yeah. What were you doing? Was Rooftop paying you?
No.
What'd you get out of that?
Exposure.
I
Don't. Are you familiar with the word?
Come on, Jackie.
I know it. But 15 years
That's what
ago,
your Tumblr blog is for.
exactly.
That's what
but
all 9 of your podcasts are for.
exactly. I do a lot of charity work, you guys. I have 2 podcasts. That was how Tig introduced me at some fucking show the other night. She was like, Cation does a lot of charity work. But, yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. It's I mean, how many city jokes did I do? How many city jokes did everybody do? I don't know how many episodes there can be. But it's an interesting, and it actually is a very fun, I don't know.
Well, you know what? Maybe I just have a naturally negative attitude toward that stuff.
And I don't know if they're paying people the clips that they're paying. I mean, maybe they are.
Why would they if they don't have to?
If they don't have to, they might not. But it's on Audible, and you can check it out if you want, you guys. I'm also doing.
Don't mind me, guys.
And I'm doing some sort of Geek and Sundry thing tomorrow, where I'm playing a board game on a video podcast with Andy.
Oh my God.
And then I'm going to open for Maria. And but today I had a human day, you guys. I was home. I got home on Monday.
Nice.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I did almost nothing. I had a lovely lunch with a friend. Today, I had a lovely lunch with a friend, and then I went to the dentist, like a person. And
How them choppers?
how them choppers, they're fine.
Do you have any health insurance? Any dental insurance?
No.
So you
it
have
was
to pay the whole-
$72
Oh, okay. It's just a
to
cleaning.
cleaning. Yeah. And I think the x-rays were $150. So, I mean, it was sort of attainable, right? It
Yeah.
was like, and I said, what What do you I actually, because I haven't been to the dentist in 5 years, and this woman kept telling me,
Wow.
Karen Rontowski read my tarot cards and my on the Dork Forest.
Oh, I got to tell you when you finish what the horrible news she gave me.
Oh, and the tarot cards said that I needed to go to the dentist.
Oh, my
so I
God.
went to the dentist.
You know her
What was her thing for you?
she goes, you're gonna. I said, when am I ever gonna find a guy? Guess how long?
Oh, wow.
4 to 5 years.
Slow boat.
And then I was like, that seems a little quick.
You're like, and then he'll be right fucking there. But I will tell you this: I had tarot, and I believe all of it and make fun of all of it, so you guys can judge me however you want. And Karen Rontowski is actually really good at it. And but I had my tarot cards read probably 15, 16 years ago, and I got that slow card. Because I said, am I ever going to find a partner, love person?
Yeah.
That's how I put it. Super tired. Anyway, so
Well, yeah.
they said it was a slow
last year I
card.
did it, and I asked if I would sell my special, and she said yes. So
oh, there you go.
yes.
Hey, Rontow. That's it. How we doing, Kyle?
Kyle.
55 minutes.
Not bad. You going up? So this will go Monday.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I will be in New York all that week
For Thanksgiving,
I'll be tweeting
right?
all my spots.
Be
and-
grateful, folks, for what you got.
Yeah,
Yeah, what the heck?
totally.
Thanksgiving.
Hopefully, I should have a cut of my special to look at
Oh, really?
soon.
Neat.
Yes.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So you'll have a boatload of sets in New York. Mm-hmm. So follow you at
Reasonable
Any Lori
amount, yeah.
16.
Yeah.
I think
You know,
I'm.
it's last time when I was there last week, I kind of realized I don't have to like fucking do 4 spots a night. You know, like I can just sort
Oh,
of
thank God.
meander and enjoy
First of all,
a
who
little
are
bit.
you? But second of all,
But I mean,
the pressure
it wasn't
of
like
just
I was
being
doing
around
it
you.
every night.
Yeah.
When I only had 2, I felt like a failure.
Right.
And you know, it's like it's.
And that was bleeding on me, fuckwit.
I'm in Manhattan.
So I'm like, I was just like, work harder, work harder. Glory Kilmartin works really hard and she has a kid. And I'm like, and so now
my kid,
I'm gonna, yeah.
he's doing really good in math.
Fuck yes.
Yes.
Well played, boy.
Thank you.
Man,
and she said he's
child.
very creative, and he has a different perspective on things, and
He was more outgoing this last time that I saw. I think that trip, I think you were saying that trip to Ireland that you guys took
yeah.
really did him
Oh, I definitely
service.
think it did. Yeah.
And so every time I see him now these days, he's got the sort of this twinkle in his eye.
He's a
where you're just
twinkler.
like, hey man.
yeah.
And he's got a little bit of confidence, and he's a good egg, you know.
He I hate people who tell children's stories. So
Do it.
Please hate me. But so he was watching this, the Minecraft videos where you're kind of following somebody while they're
It's a
playing.
walkthrough, yeah.
So normally you watch a Stampy who's very clean,
Mm-hmm,
PG, totally clean, G actually. And YouTube offers up some in the menu bar offers up some more adult people doing it. So I catch he's playing and I hear the person say clusterfuck.
Yep.
And I go, what? And my son goes, I only heard cluh. Sorry.
And yet, a good story, a perfectly good story about how. And I don't think it's the first time he's heard the F word. It's because headphones or not, he's sitting over there at the stand.
I know.
And so
And the flappers.
and it flappers and it everywhere. So this will go up
goes on
after. But
Monday.
are you going up tomorrow or Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday?
yeah, I'm at, you'll have missed it, but I'm at Flappers in Claremont this weekend.
Oh, you're doing the whole weekend.
Yeah, the Friday, Saturday. I love that little room.
I love that little room.
I do too.
It's
It's a fucking pain in the ass to drive there, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a fun little room. And I've had some psychos, and they do record all your sets, and I actually
Yeah.
got a really good heckler interaction that they recorded. That was really sweet.
I think last year I was at Claremont and Augie was opening for me, Augie Smith.
Yeah.
And he was like, because I guess I said, remember it was the episode. It was an episode of this. I think we're like 42 weeks into a friendship here, by the way. 42 hours into a friendship. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, is it really the 42nd hour?
I think it's probably our.
More than that, I think.
We're in the 40s of how many episodes there are.
All right.
So, but But I guess I said to someone, because they remember the story. It's a great story I told 40 episodes ago about someone who kept. Oh
yeah.
it was that one, right?
Yeah.
And I guess in Claremont there was an R, and Augie told me that afterwards, and I listened to the set afterwards, that I did actually say to her, if you don't stop doing that, I'm going to walk over there and stab you. And, which, that's not positive. I mean, Wanda Sykes might do it. But,
That's what I said to my mother. I said I wanted to stab her in the face.
oh my God. And how
Yeah.
did she take it?
Well, then she started crying,
Oh.
and then that led to the
Oh, good.
the not talking to each
reconcile.
other, and then
then the reconciliation.
I don't want to be hated, and I don't want to feel like someone wants to stab me in the face,
Well, she is correct.
which is a reasonable. She is paying rent. It's
yes,
reasonable.
It seems like a fair
I
expectation.
should jack her rent up.
Oh, right, the
what I'm
20%.
taking away from my roommate, I
Yeah, you're
should give
just
to my
like-
mother.
Exactly. You're giving back to the community.
That's right.
Anyway, so you got any new jokes?
No, I think most of my creative energy is going into this little book thing. I
right,
don't
right.
have. No, but I'm disappointed on myself because
It'll come. You got to get that. You got to knock that book out.
yeah. But I mean, I'm still performing. I'm
Yeah.
just, I should listen to a set on the way over, but sometimes I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to fucking do homework all the time. I don't want to
Yeah.
be so diligent. It's
Yeah.
like, can I have
I
1
want-
second where I'm not trying to
Change the damn.
do something?
Yes.
Can I just listen to some music or something and not study how I said this joke and figure out am I missing an opportunity for fuck, I'm tired of that sometimes, you know?
Yeah. This week, I'm literally I'm thinking of turning down all the sets that I have this week, and just sleeping. I'm so fucking tired. I can't. I
Yeah.
literally want to cry.
Dude, you
I just lie down.
do it.
Yeah, I've been on the road so much lately that
Your schedule has been crazy.
And I was psyched to do that Denver gig because I've been wanting
Yes,
it, and it
I
was a
know.
fallout, and I was a last minute replacement, and I was like, because I was going to take that last week off,
Yeah.
and I had a really good time, and the shows were great, and the crowds were great, but I swear to God, I might have to just lie down. So I
It's
think we're
okay.
done. I think we're
yes.
Thank God.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.